Hello, welcome to the third tutorial for a pbrt exporter. In this video tutorial I'll show you how to install the add-on and how to export and render a scene. So what you do is you go to the pbrt exporter GitHub page and click clone or download and click download as zip. Then you start up Blender, go to the preferences screen and click install and browse to the zip file, and then enable the render plugin like this. So now the plugin is enabled. I will then show you how to create a simple scene. So we start with the default scene in the startup scene in Blender. We'll remove the light and this box. I will scale it a little bit. And then I want something more to render, so I'll add a mesh and then a monkey. Move it up a little bit and rotate. Oops, let's see. Something like this. Yeah. Move down a little bit more, just make it flush with the floor. There we go. And then as you can see, it's not smooth, so I will apply a modifier, subdivision surface, and then go in edit mode, select faces, and then shade smooth. So now we need a mesh to be our mesh light. So I will add another mesh. I'll add a plane. Move it upwards. Rotate it a little bit. Not that direction. Let's see. Like this. And then scale it a little bit. So like this. So the first thing we need to do is apply some shading to the objects. So select the object and go to the shader editor. Excuse me, my English is not my native language, as you probably know. I'm from Norway, so I'm trying to correct myself when I say something wrong. I don't want to retake the video over and over again because of simple mistakes. So I hope you don't mind. Select the default material and remove that one. Go to add and select pbrt, and then we'll add this shader for the floor. And I'll just make it some gray material. Then for the monkey head, we select new material, remove the default, add pbrt, and then we'll select pbrt metal. Connect it to the surface. I'll just select some random colors for these two. Let's see, something like this. And as you can see, there's no material preview or anything like that yet, but the plugin is under development, so all these fancy features will be added as I move along. So this is an early version of the add-on. So, and then we need some light. And then select the light, click new material, remove the default material, click add pbrt, and for lights we use the black body and we just connect it to the surface. So now we have a monkey head in metal. This one is just diffuse gray, and then we have the light and we have our camera. So now we need to export to a folder. So all the render settings are in the render tab. You select the output folder path. So I'll go to my C drive, temp, pbrt render sample, and as of right now you have to turn off relative path. There's something broken there. I'll fix this shortly. And then click accept, and you can see the folder path is correct. Output file name is the file name for the rendered file. We'll just leave the default settings. It'll stop after 100 samples per pixel, and you have depth of field and so on that you can choose. And we'll click export, and you got an error message. If this happens, let's see. Okay. Yeah. If it happens, select one object and click export again. I will check on this shortly. So as I said earlier, it's an early release and not all bugs are fixed yet. So I hope you don't mind. So right now we exported our scene to the temp folder, and then you see the pbrt file here. So now we will render this one. So to do that, as you remember earlier, we compiled pbrt. So now I will go into the render sample folder, and then I'll go to let's see, pbrt, build, release, pbrt executable, and then we will render the test 001 pbrt. And as you can see, when it's done here, the render output will be put in the folder where the scene file is located. So now the render is done, and the output file is located in the folder where the pbrt file is located. If you open that file, I recommend using GIMP because it supports the format very well. You can see we have rendered the scene with the floor and the monkey and the lighting. So what's good with EXR files is that you have full control over exposure and things like that. So you can go to exposure here. You can adjust as you want. So if you have a dark scene, you can move up the exposure control, the down. You have full control. So that's what I wanted to show. If you want to use depth of field, you can choose the radius and pick an object that the camera should focus on and adjust the radius. You can also choose the light strategy, and you can choose the integrator. Not all of them has all the settings yet, but I'm continuously developing this, so a GUI for each of these, including their settings, will be made shortly. You can also choose the output resolution and what frame you should start on and end on. So that means that you can export animations, and you will have one pbrt file per frame, so you can export any type of animated scenes. You can also choose EXR or HDRI environment map and render instead of using lights. And it also supports the spotlight and the point light, but not all the settings are exported yet. But I have some ticket on the GitHub page under issues. You can see I'm continuously adding the things that I'm missing. So more development will be done, more features will be added, and yeah. And also the materials, you saw how to apply some of them. You can also use all of these. So you have like mirror, glass, Disney shader, metal shader, Uber shader, subsurface, substrate, plastic, black body, medium. So for medium is to use on glass shader. So we can actually change the metal shader, replace it with a glass shader, and then you can add a medium. Then you plug this one into there, and the glass object will render with an internal volume inside, which can give a very good effect. And also for textures, you can use, let's take this one as an example. You then go to add input, texture, and then image texture. Then you plug that one into color diffuse, for example, or any of the other slots. So most of them are already working, except for some of the texture slots in the Disney material. Let's see, that's this one. I'm not done developing this shader export code yet, because as you can see, there's a lot of properties on this one, so I'll get that one sorted out shortly. So there is also a bunch of sample scenes with the exporter in the sample files directory. You can open those, export, and then render. And I've set them up with glass shaders and black body lights and so on. I try to show each feature with a sample file. Also one for animation, and there's one with a depth of field. So you can check those out. That's the one. That's the scenes that I used for creating these images in the repository, as you can see. At least this one, that one, the monkey head, and this one with depth of field are included in the sample files directory. So you can play around with those. If you do not apply a shader properly on the object, it will just export as a default gray material. And you need to have a camera in your scene, because it will export that one. So I guess that covers it for now. Later on, I'll make longer video tutorials with new features. I'll publish more on the wiki page. I'll create more sample files that are simple for the exporter that I'll put in a repository. But I will also create more advanced architectural type scenes that I will publish on my Patreon. So hopefully you will support my work there. If not, just feel free to use the add-on as you please. If you want to contribute to it, I'm happy to accept any pull requests. If you have any questions, just email me. If you have any bugs, you can let me know through the issues page on GitHub. Just open it up and I will reply as soon as I can, and I'll get it fixed as quick as I can. So I guess that covers it for now. Hope to see you. I don't hope to see you, but I hope that you will see my next video tutorials as well. So thank you for watching, and thanks for your interest in the pbrt exporter. Yeah, and I hope you enjoy using it, because I'm spending time creating all this stuff, and it's my first Blender add-on, so I appreciate any feedback, especially if you use it for something cool. Just let me know, show me an image, drop me an email, whatever. I'm happy to see what you create with it. So, yeah. Okay, goodbye.